ditches like a frog make you stand out from the rest. So good we should watch it backwards. Okay, I do have to just jump onto another programme, and before I introduce that, just give me a moment to do that, please. Jim, you know what's coming now, don't you? Your keen desire to use my rocket launcher and fire fireworks at houses really does make you stand out from the rest. Again, I'll do my best on the sound. Second to last rocket to be fired in the evening. He was going to aim it. I'm asking to go for the Bell Pub. The box sash one. The big one. My name is Jim Nichols. I'm a manager. Right. I reckon I'll tell it a bit more. About there. Good call by Wells. Do you want a good net goal? Yeah. You're on. Okay, that's it. Hey, right, I'll go there, yeah. Good night, everyone. This is Jim. Fortunately, the houses are still there. Should have dropped this down to the bottom. Bear with me, folks, please. Hold on, folks. No, I can't push up again. Bear with me. Okay. No, that's not the one I wanted. One next to it, that's the one. Thank you. For the current slide. Okay. No, not that one. We don't want that one again, do we? No, we don't. Right, let's just go to a blank slide. That's exactly what I wanted. That's with technology only as good as putting it together. Okay. Jim, sometimes you are little short of a loon. I recall a Jolly Boys outing on the boat. I distinctly remember saying to you on the phone, do not turn up intoxicated as it's dangerous to be drunk on a boat, and leave the cigarettes at home. Whilst fueling the boat, you turn up smoking with a can of Stella in your hand. To add to this, I've never met anyone with a bottle to full throttle a powerboat whilst keeping the steering on full lock, creating donuts in the water. If you can picture, ladies and gentlemen, a medium to strong breeze creating choppy waters on the Thames estuary, while screaming like a girl, I had to lean right the way over to stop the boat from tipping. You were not bothered in the slightest. Although I do feel that the fear factor was turned on you, Jim, when, as two others in this room would recall, us needing to refuel in a shipping lane in the path of the monster cargo ship Everstrong. I was, of course, calm whilst you and Semtex sat in the back, sorry, Semtex is a nickname of one of our friends, sat in the back counting the minutes before that cargo ship ran us down. Jim, if and when a situation displeases you, you can have a row. It's a quality that I've always admired, together with your cutting use of words, especially when I criticised Tottenham's football pitch down the pub that evening. Now, Jim and I have always had a very keen interest in the Essex Boys and their untimely demise back in 1993. He shared with me a film called Rise of the Foot Soldier. Now, for those of you who perhaps enjoy things a little bit more mainstream, and I bear in mind this is a wedding, or a little too young, 3 films have now been released charting the chaos caused by 3 men in Essex during their reign over the control of narcotics, violence and nightclub security. Several books have also been written documenting the mystery and intrigue surrounding how 3 men came to meet their end in a Range Rover one evening. So with that in mind, Jim, I saw a little bit of fun to be had, especially after you wound up young Scott. After finally finding someone to make up the registration plates of the infamous vehicle, obtaining some police line do not cross tape, some fake Class A powder, it's very popular with Daniela Westbrook and Tara Palmer-Tompkinson, you get the idea, and also some shotgun cartridges as well. I thought it would be fun to dress up Jim's work vehicle and see how long it would take him upon leaving his house to realise that yours truly has wound him up. That's exactly what he came out to see. Now, ladies and gentlemen, on your desks you have got some pieces of card and some paper. I would like you, please, to guess how long it took Jim upon leaving his house to when he finally called me. I must insist that if you come here as a pair or as a family, that you make just one entry. Please make sure the units of time are very clear in seconds, minutes, hours or days if you really like. Ensure that your name's on the entry. It's a bit like being back in the classroom, this, Laura, I'm sure you agree. Also, the winner is the person who will get the closest time. They will win a very, very good prize later on. It's one of two very fine exports to have come out of France, one of them being Etienne earlier, the other one being Champagne. So, once you've all done this, could you please pass your answers to one person on your table? Could that person then raise their hand, please, and my minions, also called ushers, will make their way round and collect these from you, ladies and gentlemen. So just have a think about this. How long did it take Jim to realise, after coming out of his house, that I did this prank? And after that, I will skim through some of the footage which shows some quite worrying qualities about Jim. Okay, so in your own time. And Pete, for about the next 30 seconds. Oh, Steve doing that, yeah? Excellent, even better. Okay, thank you. Far excellent, far more efficient than you like. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Neve's running around collecting these cards from you. Could you just make yourself known to Neve, please? There's a very fine bottle of champagne later on for you, so we get that rounded up. And I will screen and I will skim through some of the footage of what happened when Jim walked out of his house and saw his vehicle like this. Thank you. Are there any remaining ones? No? Excellent. Okay, thank you there. Okay, again, just bear with me while I go on to this. I'm just going to go out of sight. Okay, I waited for 2 hours behind the silver car to wait to see Jim walk out of his house. And he looks a little surprised. The camera does zoom in shortly. Continues to look at this vehicle. Lovely bit coming up. He takes a little look around, see if any other vehicles are coming down. So he goes in for a closer look. Doesn't know what is going on. And this is one of the parts that I like best. Crouches down and whoops. What is he doing there? Likes to sample the product. Now, I'm just going to skim this, ladies and gentlemen. He nips around the back of the vehicle and then comes back round. And I have not freeze-framed this. He then stands there for a full 19 seconds, completely bewildered, trying desperately to comprehend what has happened to this. Now, this is what happens next. Again, I'll skim through this. He then decides to rip off the police tape. Slightly ironic, considering that his sister and brother-in-law are police officers. Decides to screw it up, open up his van, don a pair of latex gloves, and he walks in to tell Laura about this, who's fortunately still in bed. I'm glad you didn't come out, Laura. But hang on a minute, in for another look. Yeah, he crouches down there, just before he walks into the house. But hang on a minute, I think I've forgotten something. Yes, I've forgotten my keys. Back he goes to the motor, and in he goes. Grab the keys, that's it, Jim. Don't really want running off with those now. Careful, you put your foot on. Another little look. And off he goes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just bear with me while I swap videos over. Jim returned very, very quickly to his vehicle. And that crime scene that I personally created, he attempts to decimate. Spends a worrying amount of time crouched down behind that vehicle. That's it. Okay, you've got white pad all over your foot, that's it, kicks up underneath the motor, but forgets that the registration plates, they're 424 MPE are on there. He then gets into the car, but hang on a minute, gets another opportunity. I'm better quickly check around the back of the vehicle. No, nothing's wrong.